If you're wondering about the stimulus payments that everyone is talking about these days, I've got some answers for you. Today, we're going to be talking about whether or not you will qualify for one, how much you will qualify for, when you can expect to receive your payment, and how you can get your payment. So stick around to hear all about it. Hi friends, if we haven't met yet, I'm Jen, and I talk about living life on a budget, paying down debt, and saving for our future on our road to financial freedom. If that's the kind of stuff that you like to hear about and talk about, then make sure you click that subscribe button down below and tap on the bell so that you'll get notified every time I post a new video. All right, so let's jump in and talk about these stimulus payments. So on March 27th, 2020, the CARES Act was signed into law by the President of the United States. And one of the biggest and most popular pieces of this stimulus package is the stimulus payments that are going to be going out to single or individual taxpayers and joint filing taxpayers. So today my focus is going to be on whether or not you actually qualify for a stimulus payment, how much is going to be if you do qualify, how you can get it, and when you can expect to receive it. So first of all, let's just talk about the minimum basic requirements to be eligible to even be considered to receive a stimulus payment. First of all, you need to be an adult and have a Social Security number. If you are a U.S. citizen that's living abroad, you will be able to qualify for this if you meet the salary requirements or the income requirements. So let's talk about that for just a minute. The focus of the stimulus package is on individual taxpayers who are making less than $99,000 per year for their adjusted gross income. If you're not sure what that is, you can go to irs.gov or just Google adjusted gross income and it will give you what the definition is of that. But essentially, if you are somebody who uses Form 1040 to file your federal taxes, it's line 8B. So you'll be wanting to look at that line to figure out what number you're dealing with. Now, moving on to married couples who file jointly, they are going to be looking at couples who make less than $198,000 total on their AGI. So their line 8B is going to be less than $198,000. And if you're filing as head of household, then the top threshold is $136,500. So you need to be making less than that to qualify for a payment. Let's talk for a minute about who does not qualify for a payment. If you are being claimed by anyone else as a dependent on somebody else's tax filing, then you will not be eligible to receive a payment. So another caveat to this is if you have children in your household that meet the age requirement of age 16 or under, you can get $500 per qualifying child in your household. So if you have 2 children, you can look for an additional $1,000. And for the parents who have teenagers at home, the age limit is 16 and under. So that means that for the whatever tax filing year that they're going to look at, if your child was over the age of 16 that year, you're not going to be getting the $500 for that child. And that's a bummer because we are one of those households. So when you think about it, for the young adults who might be watching this, if you typically what they're looking at as far as for dependents, they're looking at students who are age 24 or under are very often claimed on somebody else's taxes. So they're going to know by looking at their system. But for example, our youngest is 18 years old. He lives at home. He's in high school. He works. He got his own W-2. He is not going to be able to get a stimulus payment because we claimed him on our taxes last year. And another issue is that he's over the age of 16. So we aren't going to be getting a stimulus payment for him either. So there's a little gap there for the kids that are over the age of 16. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news if you hadn't heard that already. Okay, so now if you figured out that you qualify for a payment, let's talk about how much you're going to get. For individual taxpayers who make less than $75,000 per year in their AGI, the adjusted gross income, those people are going to receive a $1,200 stimulus payment. After that, the payment goes down 5% for every $1,000. So if you are somebody who made $76,000, your payment's going to be $1,150. If you make $77,000 on your AGI, then your payment's going to be $1,100. So on and so forth, every $1,000 until you get to $99,000, and at that point you get nothing. Now, they apply the same to married couples that are filing jointly. And so if you are a married couple filing jointly and your adjusted gross income was less than $150,000, then you're going to get $2,400. And again, for every additional $1,000 that you make, they're going to take 5% off, which is $50. So if you make $151,000 as a couple, then your payment is going to be $2,350. If you make $152,000 as a couple, it's going to be $2,300, so on and so forth. And I will include a link down below to a little table that I put together in Google Sheets that shows all of this. So feel free to click on that. I have that open so that you guys can go look at it. And for head of household, if you make less than $112,500 per year in your adjusted gross income, then you are going to receive $1,200. Again, for every additional $1,000 that you make, there's going to be 50% taken off of the amount. So if you make $113,500, your stimulus payment is going to be $1,150. I included the head of household in my Google Sheets, so make sure that you check that out if you're not sure how that's going to work. Now let's talk for a minute about where they're going to find this number for you. If you are somebody who has already filed your 2019 taxes, so it's 2020 now, we're all working on getting our tax returns for 2019 filed. And if you've already done that, then they're going to be looking at your 2019 number. If you have not done 2019 yet, they're going to look at your 2018 number. I want to talk for just a minute to the people who have not been filing their tax returns. And I'm speaking primarily to people who aren't filing them because their income is low enough that they don't have to, or because you're like on Social Security income or Social Security disability income and you don't have to file a tax return every year. If you're one of those people, the IRS and the Treasury have gone back and forth about what they're going to do with that. But I'm filming this on April 2nd, and as of the evening of April 1st, they came out and changed their stance on what you need to do. The answer to the question is you don't need to do anything. So early on, they said that you needed to take some action in order to be able to get your stimulus payment. That is not the case anymore. Now, if you're somebody who hasn't filed your taxes just because you haven't filed them, whole other ballgame. Those folks need to be filing their taxes if they want to get a stimulus payment. So if you have not filed a tax return, and you should have been filing a tax return, then you need to be filing one in order to get a stimulus payment. There's no getting around that. Now let's talk for a minute about how you're going to get your payment. If you're somebody who includes direct deposit information when you file your taxes so that you can get your tax refund sent to you directly to your checking or savings account, you're all set. That's how they're going to send you the money. Whatever you used in the last time that you filed your taxes, whether it was 2019 or 2018, if you included direct deposit information, that's what the Treasury is going to use to send you your money. If you have changed bank accounts, maybe that bank account isn't open anymore, you do need to get that updated with the IRS. They are talking about building a portal so that people can go on and submit that information, but that has not been built yet. And if you're somebody who already has it in your return, you need to go to irs.gov and do some research about how you can change your existing information. Now, if you're somebody who has not included direct deposit in the past and you've always gotten a paper check from the Treasury, that's going to happen again this year. And what they will do is they will, again, look at your 2019 if that's what's been filed, or your 2018 if that's the last thing that was filed, and they're going to base it off of that income. They will get your check ready and they will mail it to you. Now, here's where the when part is really important, because we all want and need to get these payments as soon as possible, but there's going to be some preference here, and here's how it's going to go. Anyone who has already filed their 2019 taxes is going to be first in line. The second thing is we use direct deposit for our tax refunds. So they already have all of our information. So that's the second group. So they're looking at who filed in 2019 and who has direct deposit information, and that's who's going to get their money first. The when on that is going to be, they're saying by April 17th. That was what was released. I don't know if that was yesterday or today. So either April 1st or April 2nd, they have said that they want to get them out by the 17th. So they'll start sending them the week of April 13th, which I'm putting this up on Friday the 3rd. So that's just 10 days from now. They're going to start sending the money out. So sometime during that week, you should be watching for it. If you do not have direct deposit and they're going to end up writing you a paper check, if you end up not giving them direct deposit information, you're just going to go with the hard copy, get the paper check. They're going to send that via the mail. Now, here's the thing about that. If you decide that that's the route that you want to go, those people are going to be the last, those payments are the last ones that they're going to be processing. I watched a really good video from Logan Allec today, and I will link his channel down below. And he talked about this. He's a CPA, so this is right up his alley. He loves all of this stuff, and he's got some really good videos over there. So make sure you go check him out too. But he talked today in his video about the fact that rough estimates are there are about 60 million payments that are going to go out to people who have direct deposit. Okay. Then let's look at who else is left. And he explains how he just does this rough estimate of about another 90 million payments that have to go out, because the government's estimating they're going to make 150 million payments. Not $150 million or $150 billion, but 150 million individual payments will go out, have to be processed. So of those, 60 million will be for direct deposit, 90 million will be for the paper checks. And the Treasury has indicated that they will be processing about 5 million paper checks per week, which sounds like a lot. 5 million is a lot. But when you put it in perspective to 90 million, okay, 90 million divided by 5 million is 18 weeks. That's 18 weeks to get all of those paper checks out. For those of you, if we go off the week of April 13th and we look at, okay, they're going to get everything out that week, and then starting the next week, they're going to start working on paper, and it's going to take 18 weeks. That puts you out to the middle of September of 2020. If you don't want to wait that long, then I suggest that you keep a close eye out for when the IRS or the Treasury puts up this portal to be able to upload your direct deposit information so you can get your payments as quickly as possible. So let's review this again. First of all, they're going to be looking at taxpayers who have filed their 2019 taxes first. If you filed your 2019, that's the number that they're using. If you filed 2018 but you haven't gotten to 19 yet, they're going to use your 2018 number. 2019ers, they're going to get their payments first. Direct deposit people are going to get their payments first. Then they're going to look at 2018 and anybody who needs to get paper. Then after that, you need to know whether or not you even qualify. You need to be an adult with a social security number. You need to be somebody who makes less than $99,000. $75,000 as an individual is going to get you the full $1,200. And for every $1,000, that number is going to go down $50. So if you are a married couple filing jointly, then that is going to end up looking like it's $150,000 is the cap. I'm sorry, it's the starting point. $150,000. If you make that or less, you're going to get a $2,400 payment. And for every $1,000 that you make above that, it's going to go down $50. When you get to $198,000 or $99,000 if you're single, that's when you're not going to get anything. Now, along with that Google Sheets that I put together for myself, that was just so that I could see it, because I couldn't find I Googled several times and could not find a good a good representation, a visual representation to share with you on what the payments are going to look like. So I'd made one for myself just so I could see it. But I also have some other really great, I have several calculators that I found online, and any of you can find these by just Googling, but I'll include them down in the description box below. You are welcome to go check any of them out. The one that I liked was Kiplinger, and that's the one that I used. And here's why. We are a household who actually files. Okay, so we're married, but we have always filed separately. And there's a reason for that. The bottom line is when you file as married filing separately, then it's like you're an individual taxpayer. So they're not looking at our income as a whole. They're looking at us individually, just like if I was not married and filing my own tax return. So Kiplinger actually has that on there for people who are confused by that and they're not sure, should I be looking if I'm married or if I'm single? Kiplinger has that breakout. So that's why I like that one. But I checked every single one of these, and every single one of them gave me the exact same number. Now, what it didn't do, what these calculators don't do, is ask how old your kids are. I also have some information about how to, I think I said earlier that I didn't know how to change your direct deposit online. I Googled that real quick while I was doing filming, and I did find a place. If you are somebody who provided direct deposit information before and that has changed, that you don't want the money to go to that account for whatever reason, you can call the IRS. And let me just look here at this number. The number is 1-800-829-1040. That's what you need to do to change your bank account information. This is only for people who have existing information in the IRS system. And if you want to update that, call that number, 800-829-1040. I included some other links to some other articles that I have read, and I will include some links to a few videos that I've watched that have had some really good information. One of the channels that I really like, if you are somebody that is getting close to retirement age, or you are already at retirement age and you're using like Medicare and Social Security benefits and things like that, my friend Danielle over at Boomer Benefits has a fantastic channel that helps with all kinds of things in that regard. It's called Boomer Benefits for a reason, and she's got a great business and tons of resources for you. So make sure that you go over there and check her out. I will include the link down in the description if you'd like to go check her out. So these stimulus payments are real and they're coming. And if you qualify, it could come fairly quickly if you've already filed your 2019 taxes and you have direct deposit information already stored with the IRS. Up next, I'm going to be talking about your money in uncertain times. So click on this video right here, and I will meet you over there to talk about your money, your health, and everything else that you need to be thinking about to try to get through these uncertain times. That's all I've got for you today. Until next time.